No, stick the penis in the mouth right away.
Well, and that's how we just opened the show.
So you didn't say that we were on yet.
No, I was not about to miss what was happening here. I knew something was coming, and I got the button pushed just in time. So welcome.
Big flapper.
to the Great Northern Sex Cast, episode 39, Colleen Bertino.
Woo! Good morning, everyone.
So we talk one kind of fantasy here on the Great Northern Sex Cast. We need to take a moment and mention another kind of fantasy that is extremely popular this time of year. Yep, there's only a few more preseason games to go before the regular season football kicks off. And you can start the season by winning $2 million in week 1 at DraftKings.com. That's America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. So it's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. There are $10 million in prizes up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. And 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. So you can play where you want, when you want, with the players you want. So just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. We are guessing that you've never experienced football like this. Every game feels like the playoffs, even in week 1, and every broken tackle or spectacular catch could take you closer to a $2 million prize. This is not fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings, so welcome to the big time. So hurry on to DraftKings.com and use promo code SPREAKER to play free for a shot at $2 million in the Week 1 Millionaire Maker. Enter Spreaker for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. Boy, it's been 28 episodes ago that we had our in-studio guest today. Of course, we've got Liz here and also Megan from Fantasy Gifts. Glad to have you both. But in-studio special guest, Mrs. Sin. Welcome back.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah, it was March when she was here. It was episode 11, and we're now at episode 39. So I'm
Wow.
hoping that
You guys have really been sexing it up here.
we have.
Wow.
We've been working at it. You know, practice makes perfect.
And you know, we even had a sexual. What was his title again? The instructor from Normandale.
Well, no, is a professor. He does have his PhD in sex ed.
He's Dr. Sex.
Yeah. And he was so interesting. He was a super cool guy and very laid
really
back and all that kind of stuff. So,
Dr. Sex Me Up.
I would like to bring him in with some of the other great characters that Lisa.
I would like to know if he's had group sex at all yet. We could get that arranged for him.
He could consider it, just research.
Yeah. Yeah. Honey, it's research.
Yep. I need to write a paper on orgies. I need to experience one.
Yeah, I wonder.
So for those of you who don't know who Mrs. Sin is, even though she's only made one appearance here on the Great Northern Sex Cast, her episode has been the one heard around the world, and I do mean around the world because Michael, no joke, is a gamer. Michael and his husband have a lot of international gaming friends, and there have been downloads and plays of that show from far-flung parts of the world. So,
sweet.
Tell a friend, everybody.
All of a sudden, my voice got really nervous. Oh my!
Just kidding. No one listens.
No one listens. No, it's radio.
Let it out.
It's radio. No one listens to the radio anymore.
No, we all download our crap and take it on the treadmill. You know, it's awesome, man. So
I dusted off my treadmill.
How'd that? Did you get all the clothes put away?
It had photo albums stacked on top of it. And I'm thinking, I'm not looking at the photo albums or using the treadmill, so maybe I'll do some cleaning. I stayed inside because the crap in the air is attacking.
Yeah. Oh, allergies are terrible.
I can hear it actually in your voice. Yeah. Kind of stuffed up.
So no, I have a treadmill. So I looked at it this weekend.
That's a start.
Your eyeballs got their exercise.
That was about it.
That's why I don't want to buy exercise equipment. At least I can buy a gym membership, but it doesn't have to stare at me every day.
Right?
Well, I figure it's downstairs, so it's pretty much out of my range of view because the teenager's taken over the downstairs.
Yeah.
So I don't go down there all that often except when I'm doing laundry.
Well, okay, here's the next thing. You might as well just have sex on the treadmill.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Oh.
can't even imagine the burns from that. Well, okay, suppose.
I didn't say you had to turn it on or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, there's,
Just put it at the 10.
I'm,
Yeah.
I am overthinking this. See, there's my problem.
Yeah. Yeah. We finally had the camper to ourselves this weekend. We have a little tiny teardrop, and we went to a friend's house, and so the kid was inside sleeping, and we had the camper to ourselves. But unfortunately, I was not able to do anything. And then I'm like, there's like this giant bunk bed, and my husband was like, well, I just put you over it. I'm like, well, next time.
Yeah, well, what if there isn't a next time?
Well, yeah,
Oh, why wouldn't there be a next time?
oh, there'll
Come
be
on
a next
rocking
time.
if the camper's rocking.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've spent, done a little bit of glam camping, and there have just been times in the morning, you open up a camper where you've got some stuff stored, you look inside, you're like, so you guys hooked up last night.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my, I'm like, okay. And I'm like, do I use this as ammunition later? Because
Absolutely not. You jump in and you snuggle with them.
This way, one of the two would have been fine, but the other one, no.
No.
Then
So
again, this is
you
years
just
and
spoon
years
the
ago.
one side. Right?
I like the way you think.
Well, the camper was named the Love Bug, so it was
Nice.
appropriately named, which was really
Nice.
entertaining.
Don't sit down on any of the cushions.
Unless they're leather.
Or
I always
covered
buy
in
leather.
plastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the only reason if I buy a used car, I insist on leather seats. I absolutely will not buy
Oh.
any upholstery that has been previously owned. It's a rule. It's
Okay,
like,
this is leading into a really crazy story. I have to tell this now that we're talking about plasticware. And so I was in Chicago for a lifestyle party, staying at one of my single female girlfriend's apartment, and I had gotten really messed up at the party. And when I woke up the next morning, I wake up and there's this plastic sheet, and I'm like, Karen, what the fuck is stuck on my face? And I start peeling this plastic sheet off of my face that was on her bed. She goes, well, when I have sex, I squirt a lot. So it was a big plastic sheet
Make an
on her
investment in
bed.
Jesus
And
Manifest.
the sheets don't stay on plastic, so the sheet was
Right.
all balled up at the end of my feet, and I'm just got this plastic stuck to me.
Oh my god.
Well, hey, I like the fact. I mean, she's very practical about her sex.
She was.
Yes.
Oh my
But waking
God.
up having
Plastic
plastic stuck to you really
No.
wasn't the way to wake
And
up when you're that
There are
hungover.
much better mattress protectors than
Yeah,
plastic.
Oh God, was that funny? I think she took a picture of it too.
We could
Did
probably.
you did you like have to like peel?
Peel it. I had
Oh.
literally had to peel it away.
Oh.
I think I had the night sweats. I was like, what the?
So there is traveling sex. I mean, because I know that you're saying that a lot of times when I was listening to other episodes that, that the group gets sort of, you know someone who knows someone and you meet someone. So how do you meet someone like, I'm going to travel to like Utah?
well, hang on. Let's back up for just a minute because
Yeah.
we didn't really do a proper introduction. We
Oh,
just said
wow.
names.
You know.
And so we all know who Mrs. Sin is.
Oh, okay.
But just let's explain, explain how we know you.
Well, I host lifestyle/swinger events in the Minneapolis area. And I came in for my first podcast discussing as a woman and female event host in the lifestyle, the parties and the sex from a female perspective.
And the people you will meet.
And the people you will meet and not know their names and have sex with and meet at another party going, I know I had sex with you, but I don't remember your name.
Can you take your pants off quick?
You want me to do it right now?
No, but you might recognize them. You might remember them better.
Oh,
if
yeah.
they- right?
All
Yeah.
right, it's old
yeah.
history leans
Yeah.
to the left. Okay.
I remember those balls.
But see, here's what I don't get. There's no hello, my name is tags. I mean, what are you going to stick them to? Your ass? Or you could, I guess.
If you want to.
She's like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. So Colleen, back to your question now. Can you repose that?
What I'm saying is that so you're in Chicago. I mean, you live here, but you're in Chicago, and you have a friend there. But let's say you're traveling to someplace where there's not friends.
Okay.
Do you go online and meet
Absolutely. The lifestyle sites. The one that I belong to, lifestylelounge.com, is nationwide.
Okay.
So from Canada down to Puerto Rico and everything in between and beyond. when you're in the area, you can take your profile and say traveling from Minneapolis to wherever you are. Say I was in Chicago, post a booty call, and it'll say that you're from Minneapolis here in Chicago, and then you can post your booty call, whatever you're looking for.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that app. Oh, I remember somebody I'm not going to name him, was here visiting, and he pulled up his little app, and it showed him like everybody in the like 1 mile radius who was up
Grindr.
for fun. Grinder, yeah, who was up for a good time.
Or growl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of the same thing, but a closed.
Yeah, this is just
Site.
this
Yep.
is for lifestyle people. So then the couples, single females and single males that are traveling can hook up. They already know, you're in the lifestyle, you're part of it, that kind of stuff.
So do you get a view of the profile of the people, or are you just kind of taking a chance?
No, you can absolutely view their profile. So if someone emails you, you can go in and click on their profile, and you can read the description of who they are and what they're looking for and what they're into, and
Okay, so it's kind of like a Match.com of sorts,
Yeah.
only on steroids.
yeah. Only on steroids. Yeah,
Match
VVRO,
for the
but
night
Chris Wing's-
.com.
Yeah,
That
so-
would be fun.
I mean,
You just meet up somewhere, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere, right?
Yeah, usually, let's meet for drinks,
Yeah.
in quotation mark.
Yeah.
And then if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have, hey, come on over. We'll host. We have a hot tub. We have, sex toys. What was that, the thumper?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is it actually called, the twerking bed again?
oh God, I don't even know.
What is
that
the
it was
official
called the
name of that
twerking
thing?
bed?
No, we nicknamed it
Kim
that
calls
because
it.
that's what it looked like, but it was just one of the high-end masturbators from Topco that they're bringing out. I
can't
don't know
remember their real name.
Okay, so this is now
I've
we
never
have to
seen
figure
the
out
box.
what it is.
I never actually saw the box. I just saw the.
I stuck my
This is-
finger
this
in her
is-
box.
So did I.
I was just going to say, this is what I heard about the twerking, but it was really warm on the inside.
Well, like the butt cheeks do this like figure 8 roll. So you put your finger in, and like it's like getting a weird like massage.
Like when
from
you're at
the
a pet, yeah.
inside.
It's like it took a
really
pedicure
weird.
chair and
Yeah.
turned it into a masturbation device.
Right.
Yeah, with like a hole. Like
Yeah.
imagine, a
Yeah.
massaging chair with like a hole in it. So you've got these like
I want to know how much of
shiatsu
my body can I put in it.
swirls.
I kept thinking, if I had a penis, I think this would feel good.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
I know,
this feels
right?
good on my fingers. Like,
Yeah,
I
this
can't
would feel
even-
really good on a penis. Yeah.
Well, then the men get spoiled, and then the next thing you know, they have sex with a real woman. They're like, can you do that twerking thing and do this? And do
Well,
that?"
if you have proper kegels, yes, you should be able to.
Okay, this is true.
And we're warm and self-lubricating,
And here's the news.
and we have boobs attached.
That's true. And grabbing back. Here's the news reporter coming back, though. Just really quick before we move past into more masturbation here. When you hook up in a different city, is everybody that's a member of your group, Mrs. Sin, are they like sort of vetted in a way? So that you can have some sort of a reasonable
safety, you
for
mean?
safety, yeah. As far as knowing that they're legit.
Okay, first off, on the profile, when you set up your profile, you will get a little thing in the corner, and it'll say certified or real seal. So you can set up a profile online, and until I have met you in person, someone needs to meet you in person, have spoke with you, then you get the little check mark, and the little thing comes up, and it says you've been real sealed. So now you are truly a person. Who is familiar. You're not a cop, you're not a
Right.
reporter, you're not a media
Right.
person. And I real seal quite a few people, like at the Kinky Fridays, when they come into the Kinky Fridays, it's a meet and greet. So they come there, they get introduced to the lifestyle people, I meet them, and then they'll ask me, can you real seal me in the morning? So I've met them, and I know that they're
Now, what if you meet them and they're like creepy?
You know what? Here's the thing. I have real sealed some bizarre, to say the least, people, but they're, you know what? If they, how do I put this? Let's just say they're creepy to you. Maybe they're not creepy to someone
But
else.
when
Maybe
I
they're
mean
someone
creepy,
else's.
I mean like somebody who is,
Well, I wouldn't say creepy is the word. If they're in the lifestyle,
dangerous.
I'd never do anyone
Right, but-
dangerous
but-
if I felt
What would you do in that situation? Obviously, you wouldn't real seal them, but do
No.
you have any other repercussions? Can you flag their profile?
I could. Well, if I personally felt someone was
Mm-hmm.
dangerous or was mistreating lifestyle people,
Yeah.
I would just contact admin and let them know what was going on. And
so they could get removed from
yes,
their profile.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, absolutely.
All right. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So go back up and for people who haven't gotten to hear your, what you work, the work that you do in different things. So you organize all of these different events, and when you talk about Kinky Fridays, tell everybody what that is.
Okay, Kinky Fridays is the first Friday of every month down at the Gay 90s, and it's for fetish and BDSM. We have Mistress Jean, who is our main host. She's-
Rubberella.
Yep, exactly.
Yep, we carry her movies. She's
but
beautiful.
She is gorgeous, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she spanked me a few times really good. Liked it.
Yeah.
Bondesk, which is the fetish store downtown and uptown, they start the night out with a runway show, a fetish
fun.
runway show. Now, everyone that's in the runway show is a customer of their store, so they are real people involved in the BDSM fetish lifestyle. And they are in this wear
Cool,
that they
yeah.
purchase. They do the runway show, and then after the runway show, Mistress Jean gets on stage, and she will perform on people who are willing participants. Obviously, no one's going to throw you up on stage
Right.
and make you get spanked and
Does
shocked.
she get tipped?
Yep, she gets the tips. So what I do then is I come in because it's fun, it's entertaining, and I set up an area, and it's a meet and greet. So people who are new to the lifestyle or people who are curious about maybe the fetish lifestyle, whatever, they come in and we have an area and we all sit down and we get to know each other and we talk and we hang out as friends, and the new people can come in and meet the not so newbies like ourselves. Rode hard, put away wet ones. And they have a show to watch. It's not just in a basically, you can do a meet and greet anywhere.
Right.
But this one's a high sexuality. It's got a lot
Right.
of sex,
It's a good way to throw you in the deep end, right?
It's a good way to throw you in. You have something to watch. You can
Yep.
participate. Nudity is allowed on stage. You can wear scantily. You can pretty much just go topless. So
Nice.
if you,
I've been selling a lot of nipple stickers.
oh, yep,
Hearts, stars,
Yep.
The
whatever.
classic black X.
Yep.
Do they stay on well?
Yeah, they're made to
Really?
do that. Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
that's
I always
what they're-
wondered how those work. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they should stay on if you sweat. Yeah, they should.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so and so it's just a fun way in a more of a hedonistic environment without feeling any pressure for sex, play. It's just a meet and greet, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And you certainly don't have to be worried about someone overhearing your conversation.
Yeah. Right.
Because
yeah.
I mean,
Safe house.
you do a meet and greet at the Dunn Brothers. Someone could go, "Wait, what the hell's going on?"
And that's that's what's really nice about the
Yeah.
meet and greet. You don't have to. I mean, hey, girls, you know what? Us women, we get frisky. We get into a high sexual, and we get frisky. And the next thing you know, you got girls making out with girls, and then you have what we call vanillas, which are the non-lifestyle people, and maybe they're not lifestyle friendly either, freaking out because now all of a sudden we need to go to church on Sunday and
Right.
repent our sins for.
So if you start with some bondage fetish runway show, they've already left.
exactly, people are there because they want to be there.
Yeah.
So.
But you also have described, because I really, again, if you're just catching Mrs. Sin for the first time, there's some really good nuggets that people need to know kind of about the lifestyle. And so you permit, not just the vanillas are one thing, I think, but you guys do permit voyeurs to come just to meet and see just the scene a little bit too, right? At the Kinky Fridays.
Oh yeah, it's open to the public too.
Okay.
So people, it's open to the public. So anyone in the fetish world, voyeurs, anybody is welcome at Kinky Friday. The lifestylers, we try to have our own area so that when you come in, I'll greet you and get you set up. And these are the lifestyle people. Whether they're involved with the fetish BDSM part, some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are there to meet other people. Some of them are there just to watch. It's all different.
Well,
Whatever.
if you have exhibitionists, you need some voyeurs, right? I mean,
Right? Yeah. How-
somebody has to sit back
some
and watch.
yin and yang going on. I think.
Oh yeah.
So I have one little question. Have you hosted people coming in from out of town then? That you've never met and are just, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, actually, we had some people from the Dakotas who were in town, and they're on the site, and they were like, they wanted to meet some Twin City people. They came in, they had an absolute amazing blast, and sent me the most beautiful email thanking me over and over about how great the Minneapolis swingers are.
And friendly.
And friendly. I'm trying to think, where else have we had? They do come from, obviously, both ends of Minnesota. We get a really very different group of people. I mean, it's a turnover. We have obviously the same people for Kinky Fridays because they really enjoy it,
Right?
And they love meeting the new people. But then we get a lot of people from all over who
We're just
are
visiting.
They get a room downtown because they've seen it online. They're curious about it.
I guess. I mean, if you live in
Yeah.
Superior, Wisconsin, and you're really into swinging, and you're like, well, I know this Freaky Fridays is coming up. Let's,
Make a weekend of it, yeah.
that makes sense. And then hopefully you meet somebody for Saturday, right?
Well, maybe he'll meet someone for Friday night and Saturday and Sunday morning.
Right. Yeah.
And then you're never going back to Wisconsin again.
Well, it just won't be the same. No.
I have a girlfriend and her boyfriend, and they come in from they drive a pretty fair distance from Wisconsin, and he absolutely loves his Kinky Fridays, and they get a room downtown, and I'll tell you what, I mean, he just has so much fun, and yeah, they have their Friday night, Saturday, Sunday fun.
And then it's back to
And then it's back
whatever.
to reality.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I can see that. I know Minneapolis has lots of different things to offer folks.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just have to know what websites to go to.
And we've uncovered many more of them in the last 39
Yeah.
episodes, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's great that everyone's
Yeah.
out there and that this podcast is doing so well. It means that people are really opening up and not so conservative about
I know,
sex
right?
and freeing themselves a little bit more of, the stigmas of especially women and sex. I mean,
The
we
slut
can,
shaming.
yeah, I mean,
I was having a whole conversation with somebody, and I was like, "Wow, if I was single with the internet, I would be such a slut." And they gave me this look, and I'm like, "What?
yeah.
No.
What is wrong with that?"
It
I'm
is
like,
still very difficult. Like I said, I brought it up, and I'll post the link to the book. But I'm reading a book about just the rules and the laws against sexuality, and like 99% of them are about containing women's sexuality.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
all the time.
yeah,
It's the same
because we're
thing.
so scary.
Yeah, that we actually have an opinion.
Yeah,
and
she's a man eater.
I might, the fact that I might enjoy sex.
Yeah.
Yes, I enjoy sex. And, just to say that, is revolutionary. It
Yeah.
still is in 2015.
Yeah.
To some extent.
I think it's getting to be.
I mean, it's better, but it's
it's
still
better.
Yeah, but it still freaks some people out.
Yeah.
Then they can just go sit in their little world and lead this boring life. And
You know who's having more fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think most of the time they're just jealous because they don't feel that they can express themselves in that way. Like they deep down inside want to have more sex, but there's all this society stuff that's told them, no, that's wrong. If you do that, you're a bad girl. So they feel like, and then they look at you who is like, I don't care. And they're like,
Yeah, I get that a lot from women, whether
Yeah.
it's in the lifestyle.
yeah.
Did you see how she dresses? Oh my god!
I think you look cute. I think you look perfectly acceptable. And she does. No, well, so how many years have you been involved with the lifestyle, Mrs. Sin?
Over 10 now.
Woo.
Over 10 years. My husband and I started.
How do you celebrate that anniversary?
That's a good question.
Do you know what? My husband and I got into a discussion the
sex?
other day, and he was like, "It's been longer than 10 years." I go, "No, it hasn't." I go, "It was our 10-year anniversary in June." So I went back into the awesome part about the lounge is I went back into our profile, and it had all the parties that we have attended. And the very first one that we went on and we actually hooked up. It was so cute. I go, "Look at Jim." And I showed him on the thing. I go, because we started and we did some events, but we never hooked up. We were just, those
Checking it
weird,
out, yeah.
we were checking it out.
yeah.
Just what
Using
is
it for
this?
later. Mhm,
Yeah. What
yeah.
is all this freakiness about? So we went to some stuff and met people. But yeah, I consider our anniversary the first time we partook in it. So,
What can you recall what kind of crossed you guys over? Obviously, you went to some events. You probably had a good time. But what do you think was the absolute turning point to where you sort of went down the rabbit hole, if you will, for lack of a better way to put it?
What happened at that party?
okay, well,
Yeah. Thank you.
I think the interesting part about our relationship is when Jim and I met, we both were highly sexual people. I was one of those girls who was never really shy about it. So getting married and being in a monogamous relationship actually kind of freaked me out. Even though I've been monogamous with him, I was like, this is it. I can never have sex with anyone for the rest of my life. So I was the freak who sat online for 2 years in the office, bookmarking these little things about the swinging lifestyle, and I researched it. Then, and I told this story the last time I was here, we went to our first party at a hotel, and my poor husband white knuckled it all the way down there, and I was just like, oh, I was so excited. I'm like, I look over and he's holding the steering wheel and his poor knuckles were just white.
Aww.
But we did it. What kind of threw us over the deep end was when our anniversary of 10 years in June, we were on a we were on the river. And it was a boating party. And I was
swinging boating.
It was a swinging. So all the swingers, we had flags, and you can get the flags to represent your site. So and everyone was getting together in certain coves, and we could swim naked, drink, do all that stuff, and then we
Croix?
Yep, floated down to Treasure Island, and everyone got slips next to each other. I know we got a hotel room because we were on someone's boat, and they didn't have anywhere to sleep for it. But anyhow. So we were partying with them, and I just realized absolutely how awesome, fun. Like, I could run around naked, and people were like, oh, my God, did you see her? Everyone was like, woo!
They were like, oh, my God, did you see her?
It was great. And it wasn't just me jumping off the boats naked. Other people were jumping off the boats naked.
You found your, what do they say, your tribe?
Yes, that's exactly it. I found my tribe.
So it really was the water that sent you over.
It was,
water is really sometimes can be that way, right?
Well, and then we had this single male follow us up to our hotel room. He was so kind. He goes, well, let me carry your luggage up for you. I'm like, well, isn't this a gentleman? Now, for those who know who this gentleman is, everyone, I won't say any names, but truly his gentlemanly was, I'm going to grab a hold of this luggage and I better fuck her from behind when I get up there. So he followed us up to our room, and it was the funniest thing because he set the luggage down, and there I am standing in the middle, husband to one side, single male to the other, both of them staring at each other, and I'm looking this way, that way, this way, that way. And I was like, all right, I guess we're going to have sex now. Nobody knew how to start anything.
Eiffel Tower?
What?
The Eiffel Tower?
The Eiffel Tower.
Oh, my God, there's one you don't know?
Is that the face? And
a blowjob, right? And from behind, and then the dudes high-five it.
Basically, yep, exactly. You know what? We Eiffel Towered it a few times. Yeah. So, and that was a turning point, and that's where it was like, damn.
So really, what it takes is just like you have to really just like get into the moment. Like you probably aren't going to necessarily have that event at like just a party where people are just standing around dancing, but because you had this like all day event with little steps,
kind of like the
here.
foreplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That by the time you're like, I'm ready.
And that is exactly what, like, when we do the lifestyle parties, that's what it is all about. It's starting to feel the sexuality. So you go to the event, and whether the event is a dress-up event, dress to impress, or if there's a theme behind it, and a lot of them have themes behind it, you dress, and then you go in and you maybe go up to a couple that you have been chatting online with, and you introduce yourself, and then the flirtation starts, and the drinks start flowing, and the conversation starts going, and then the touching and the kissing and the rubbing, and then the connection's made, and
maybe a hot tub.
Then there's the hot tub. There's everything. There's plastic beds.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Giant showers. They're giant showers. Yes.
So how did, just out of curiosity, since it was another male in the first whole encounter, did you and your husband have like a post game later about the whole thing? Like, do like a little check in to see, okay, are we fine? You know,
Yeah.
how'd that go? Well, talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, my husband thought it was super hot because, another guy, I don't know, he just thought that was really cool.
Okay.
He was like another guy, watching it and seeing it. And of course, he was a receiver at one end. You can see my little hand motions here. And he just thought it was hot. And that's actually how we got more into playing with the singles. It's easier for us to make a connection with a single than it is to find a couple, because you need to have that four-way attraction, and that four-way attraction, a lot of people have discussed in many forums, is really hard. So there is a huge play for the singles. There's a spot for them in the lifestyle. Single females, we call them unicorns. Obviously, a lot of couples are looking for the single females, maybe for a poly relationship or to fulfill a fantasy. I always like to tell people, if you're seeking a single female, you have to have something to offer, like a vacation.
Really?
Well, you know what? Women want to feel sexy and they want to feel special, and they're one of those. Men will just come in for the sex of it, and they don't care what your first, middle, or last name is. They don't even care how old you are. As long as you're over 18 and they're not going to go to jail, they're gonna hit it for the most part. Women, single females, I've had a lot of single female friends, and when they are treated like women and they're treated with respect and they are dated and courted, a couple dates and courts them and doesn't just try to fulfill their needs. And when I say their needs as a couple, well, we just want to have a threesome. We check it off our list, our bucket list. No, a lot of my single female friends, they go on vacations. They travel with couples. Couples will take them shopping. A woman wants to be courted and feel sexy and feel like they're connected to that couple.
Not just a tool to get to.
Exactly. And a lot of my single female friends, my unicorn friends, have a blast. I mean, I have one right now, one of my really close friends who is going on 2 European vacations with a couple. Yeah.
Same couple?
Yep, same couple. And then another single female friend who has been traveling with a particular male half of a couple. So yeah, it's, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say opportunity, but you know what? If you're a woman in the lifestyle and you're willing to open yourself up and you can travel and you can have fun and you like to have sex and, feel sexy, it's a good gig to be. It's a good gig.
Yeah, and then you have to have there's a lot of conversation there. Because it seems like every, the conversation to start, conversation when you're done, that there's not a lot of, obviously hidden things here. You can't, you're not going to hide anything here. Yeah. The folks are going to know, are going to put what they want right out there and then work towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
no
you're really
mysteries.
looking for friends.
I
mean, these people aren't just people you have sex with. I mean,
I have had sex, and then it's kind of funny. I was actually at a little get-together one day, and this guy comes up to me, and he was chit-chatting like I knew him. And I'm like, have we met before? He goes, we've had sex. Was I drunk? I must have been drunk. I was like,
I don't
so
remember.
you're like, what number were you on that night?
Can you take your pants off? I need to verify.
I need to verify that.
So I was wondering the difference really between like more of a swinging lifestyle than like people who are polyamorous. Is there much of a difference between?
A lot of couples do actually move into polyamorous lifestyles within the swinging community. Some of them are successful. Some of them aren't. Some of them seek it. That's what they want. That's what they're
They
seeking.
want the relationship.
Yep, when they
sex.
go into the lifestyle. So some of them are looking for that single female or single male, whichever, for a poly relationship. And some of them are extremely happy. I've seen some of them kind of go to crap or
But
go to crap.
you have seen a successful And what makes you think that polyamorous relationship is successful? Have they been together for a long time?
They've been together for a while. There is openness between the husband, the wife, and the partner, the third partner. Some of them have moved in, and actually there was one couple. Now they're not together anymore, but they moved another single female in, and of course the dude was really hot and his wife was smoking, and the third party was just wow. And their kids all lived together too. And so the moms went to school and did the conferences together, and as people were questioning it, but in their eyes they're like, 3 people, we have love, our children are loved 3 times, and they raise them as a family. It worked out for quite a few years. I know that they did break up, but it was.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean,
right. With or without the lifestyle.
If you could go that many years, it had nothing to do with, just normal stuff at that point.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And there's
somebody who just wouldn't put his socks in the stupid hamper.
I don't know, Liz. I think that it might get a little stickier than that. In this kind of.
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, you never know.
I was wondering if you'd noticed though an increase in more polyamorous relationships developing beyond just the regular swinging lifestyle in the last few years.
Yeah, I'm a part of a private group on Facebook. A lot of us have we break off into different groups, and we have a lifestyle all women's group. So we talk about that. We have our lifestyle groups private. They're all private, so you wouldn't know. And that does come up, and people are specifically, a lot of people are looking for that. For the fact, I don't really know. I think as far as a polyamorous, whatever, I don't want to say kink or, whatever it is. Now, I can completely understand the polyamorous portion of it. I don't know if I would ever move like a single female or a single male in on a sexuality, but I do know, let's call them toys. I like to consider them toys. My husband, who maybe isn't quite as adventurous as I am, or he's a little bit more shy and quiet, maybe we should get him in here someday so you guys can meet him.
That would be something else. I would like that.
I don't know if he would say too much, but he is definitely more reserved. The boy toys that I kind of seek, and the single female friends that I seek have, be adventurous. And maybe it's something my husband doesn't want to do, but I don't want to say con or manipulate, but I'm like, hey, you want to do this? And the toys would be like, yeah, let's go for it. And then I would go, hey, so-and-so wants to do this with me. Are you okay with it? And he would be like, yeah or no. Usually it's yeah, because he's like, take her.
He's already in.
Take her. I don't want to do that anyway.
Well, you guys tend to explore separately, though, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's nothing new for him.
No,
because he's got his own thing, right?
He's got his own thing. He's like I said, he's a lot more quiet. He's I don't really know how to describe him. He's very flirtatious, and boy, once he's got his eye on someone, then and he's got good taste. I'll never deny it. I've never looked at him and went, really?
So is it fun?
Oh God, can you imagine that?
Is it fun being the wingman or the wing woman for your spouse? I mean, like I've met someone I think you would like.
Oh God, it's a blast.
I mean,
what are you talking about?
That would be because I admit I don't like to share.
Yeah. I would rather pick than have him just pick, though. Like, to me, that like, I don't know if I want to know who he would just pick. Like, because what if it's like something too similar or completely different?
My husband's all over the map when it comes to what he likes. For him, number one is personality. He wants a personality.
Obviously.
And,
obviously. Really into personality.
And he loves to flirt. He doesn't want to just dive into bed with a woman just to have sex with her. He likes
He wants the adventure.
Yeah. He likes everything that leads up to it. The flirting and the touching and the kissing and all that stuff. He loves that. Where I can't say that I have just not jumped into bed, just, hey, let's take it for a test ride. I don't know if that makes me a good person or a bad person.
No.
A fun person.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like the idea of God. I met someone over here. You've got to meet them.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times my husband has interjected because I've been a little bit too tipsy. And then
Your
he
judgment is no.
cock
Yeah,
blocks
he's like,
me.
yeah.
And I can't understand, why are you doing this to me? And he goes, you will understand in the morning when your beer goggles are not on. And then I wake up the next morning and he'll do the old to the right. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yes.
Do you love me? Do you love me more?
I like that. I hadn't thought about that part too, setting them up and then going, nah, this one's not. No, this one over here. You
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
That is a true trust factor right
Yeah.
there. I love that.
Yeah, because he knows. He knows I would have been mad at myself.
Yeah. Well, things happen.
I know.
I think it's weird though. I know we've talked about it here on the show. I don't know if it came up, Mrs. Sin, last time you were here, but there is a Showtime after hours show called Polyamory. And if any of you guys caught any of the episodes of it,
No.
I watched 2 seasons just because they're following some of the same people, and there's a couple of them that have just completely imploded. But you see as these progress, and one of the sets that are kind of really main characters are 2 couples that moved in together, and there's children and things like that. But it's like it's really kind of weird when you watch something like that and you think swinging is so much less complicated. You know what I mean? Because the deeper that they get into all this stuff, then that's when I could see the party lifestyle or the standard lifestyle being easier.
Yeah.
And I will admit with that, the one thing that I like about the lifestyle versus poly, and I'm not against poly. I mean, like I said, I call them toys. Some people want to move in together, but I like to have my downtime. So my uptime is planning the party. That's kind of the foreplay, is planning it, getting ready, going to the party, doing all the flirting, having the fun, being caught up in the moment, meeting someone, going back to your hotel room, having that wild, crazy, fun, hot sex, and then goodbye, and wake up in the morning, have
With your
breakfast in bed.
husband.
Yeah, breakfast in bed, and chill out, and just go home and recap how much fun everything was, and
With
have
the person that you actually have the ring with.
Right, and
Because
have that-
there's that really,
Well, they say that like vacation. They say the most exciting part of a vacation is the days leading up to the vacation.
planning it.
Yeah, it's not actually necessarily the vacation itself. It's just the anticipation. So that's if you've got that all the time,
And that's
It's like you ask anyone who's lost his job, who's on like week 5 or 6, it's no longer fun.
Right.
To
Or
just
if
be
you're
able
always
to
in
just-
paradise, it's not
Yeah.
paradise anymore.
Yeah.
You take
Yeah.
it for
Yeah.
granted.
Do that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Do you have a certain amount of like I don't want to say energy that when you're done, then you have to have a 2-week break, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Okay, how does that work? Like,
Yeah.
can you kind of give me an overview? I'm curious.
well, like as far as me personally, or just like
Yeah, you personally, because I know that you plan a lot of these events, and if anybody's ever planned anything on a decent scale with a number of people, it's a lot.
It's a lot. The house parties for us, doing our house parties, because we literally transform our entire lower level into a pretty much on premise, which would be like an on-site swing club. So you have one part of our basement. We have a really large basement. That's cabanas, drop-down movie screens, porn,
Wow.
sex toys. We supply the condoms, lube, all that stuff. Then the other part is where the party is. So basically, we take our entire lower garage, which is a beautiful garage. It's sheetrocked, mirrors. We have a sitting area, DJ booth, bar. And we clean out the garage and we scrub the floors down and we wipe down all the mirrors and we set up all the furniture and everything because it's a garage. It's really a garage. So we have a lot of shit that needs to go somewhere. And then move out all the furniture in our basement into another area and hang the cabanas. I mean, prep the food. It is so much work that I actually called another event host one day. John, him and his wife do the big O, and I almost was in tears. I go, do you ever get sick of it? I think I'm just sick of it. It's too much work. And he's like, and he agreed. He goes, it can be a lot of work. He goes, but once the party comes, he goes, you forget about all the hard work, and he goes, and you just enjoy it, which is so true.
Do you then charge a cover?
Yeah. Yeah, because
Does that just pretty much just cover your expenses, or are you able to?
our house parties took a long time to, because each house party has a theme to them, and each theme costs money.
Yeah.
So now we do the BYOB because obviously we don't have a liquor license to sell liquor,
Right.
but we supply the food, we supply the DJ, we supply the setups, we supply the ice, the theme, everything that we had. We buy the condom, everything that we do. So
Yeah.
our house parties are, I want to say, in our first house party out the gate was almost $1,000. So, and then that was theme 1, and then we had to roll into theme 2 and theme 3. So it took us a while to actually start getting the money back that we
Okay.
put into the parties.
Okay. Yeah. Because if you don't have a turnout, right? I mean,
Yeah, if you have a lower turnout,
Yeah.
and it just and
you can't like posthumously go, okay, we had 40 people, so you all have to pay.
right.
So
Yeah.
are there seasons to the parties?
That's a good question. I personally, as an event host, do fall, winter, early spring. Summers to me in Minnesota are far too short
Yeah.
to be doing all the
Yeah.
basically.
Because you have
Yeah,
a full-time job.
yeah. I bartend and I dance. I do other stuff. Plus, I have track people. I do race horses in the summer.
Yeah.
Have those. So once fall comes, now people are getting antsy in the pantsy because they want to do something. But in the summer, there's other people that do, like we did the river run on the river. There's riverboat parties. There's
the camp,
lake parties.
There's that campground.
There's 2 campgrounds.
Right.
There's 2
And
campgrounds.
those people will not answer my emails. I want to talk to them, and they won't respond to me. But okay. Go ahead.
Oh, well, really? Tony and Glenn?
See, all I have to do is you are such a networker. You are so well connected. Yeah, help me. I really want to get the campground guys on,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they came to New Year's. They hosted the party, our first hotel party, that my poor husband white knuckled it to, all the way down to the hotel.
And people have cabins and boats, and their kids are
Yeah.
out of school.
Kids are out of
Yeah,
school. There's a lot.
Summer camp. There
yeah.
is summer camp for kids. So that's a week your kids are gone. You don't get that in the school year.
No, you don't get that.
Yeah, and we had a cabin up on Balsam Lake that we did weekends. We had swinger parties up there. Blast, absolute blast. I mean, we took the jet skis out, the pontoons. That's where I learned how to water ski, knee board, slalom.
So what's the least offensive tasting bug spray?
What is what is that stuff called? That is it? Mary Kay Avon makes
Oh,
it.
the skin so soft.
Skin so soft.
Okay.
Because you got to put it in some important places, man.
If you're going to go naked
Well,
in the woods, you're going to want some decent
hell
bug
yeah.
protection.
Our cabin was actually.
I always
a
think
house.
practical. I think it drives some people crazy. I always come up with like, what bug spray do you use? Oh my, we're talking about sex, and I want to know what bug spray. Oh, Jesus.
Well, you do not want welts on stuff.
You can't eat deep.
Well, welts
You
that
can't
you
eat
put on
No,
there.
right. Yeah, that would be bad.
Can't
Some
eat
welts.
deep.
Yeah,
Oh my God, can you imagine the news headline?
because I've tasted all
Swinger
the
party, emergency room overrun with swingers, poisoned by
By
deeds.
deeds.
Yeah, because I've tasted the lubes, but I'm not tasting the bug spray.
No.
Oh, you've never had your mouth open when someone's spraying you?
Oh yeah, it's hideous.
yeah,
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
disgusting,
Yeah.
How many people, on average, and I know I'm sure it varies and whatnot, come to the house parties, and because they stay all weekend, right?
Our house party is Saturday nights usually. We have done some Friday night ones, but usually Saturday. And we've had, with our doing them for so many years, I think we're going on 6 years of doing the house parties. I kind of have a pretty good idea of how the sign up and how many people we can do. 100 people, which would be 50 couples, is right there. That's
I can't imagine it in a
a
house.
ton of people.
Yeah.
it's a ton of people, but
people.
now you have to remember it's cut up between the play
garage
area
and the- yeah.
and the play area and our lower garage. So you have people drinking, dancing. We have 2 chill zones, what I call chill zones, where they're sitting down and they're getting to know each other. People eating, getting to know each other and playing. So you kind of cut it up. Any more than that, and the house gets hot, and it's you can't get into a play area.
There's lines.
There was one line. It was so funny. From the play area down the hallway through the garage, and I was like, what's going on here? Like naked people standing in line, all that are twisting through the house. We were waiting for a play cabana. And I walked in to the play area, and one couple would, couples would come out, and then 4 couples would go in, and then the line would move forward.
You're like, we need another cabana.
It was kind of comical. I was like, well, how nice that everyone patiently waits their turn.
That's Minnesota for you. They're all lined up naked. Well, I don't want to cause a scene. I'll just wait my turn.
Wait my turn.
No zipper merge. They're just in
Yeah.
their line.
And then there's that single female that's just like, hey,
Cutting to the front.
what is she doing?
I just have this visual that this would actually make if you got down low and just took a picture of like knees down, all the feet, and waiting to get into the room for the next.
Oh, I
for
would
the-
love to take pictures, but I'd probably get in so much
No,
trouble.
just
I
like
know.
knees down, just like here's the line.
It's like filming
Hello.
children. You can film children. You just can't film their heads. Like seriously, you can go to a school and like they'll usually let you take pic, but you cannot do their heads. So it's like backs,
Yeah.
legs.
Like classroom
Yeah,
pictures.
no,
We're
but
not
so-
talking.
but-
Okay,
but so,
we're
but
not-
no, but,
no,
but,
no.
but so many
Just
people
in
have
general.
tattoos now. But I just
Yeah.
so probably
that's
not. When I
true.
think about it, yeah, because none of that'd be about the only
I
time my
know
tattoos
that.
would be visible.
I know
It's
that
true.
manicure.
I
Yeah,
wanted to get into like pedal porn videos because I'm like, yeah, you just push a gas pedal and people pay you money for it. I'll do that, hell yeah. And then I'm like, oh, my damn tattoo would give me away.
What is
Pedal
pedal
porn?
porn?
Yeah, you'll put a car in neutral or whatever, and it's just feet revving an engine, pressing down the pedals, and guys will pay to watch these videos.
Well, it's better than the stomp.
Right,
You'd have to
exactly,
have some really nice
exactly.
feet, though, wouldn't you?
What are you saying?
I'm not
don't.
saying.
That
I'm
means
saying I would.
that means I would
I
have
would
to
think
shave my
so.
toes.
Oh yeah,
yeah, toe waxing.
yeah.
But it's like the balloon. We had talked about the looners, the,
balloon,
people
yeah.
who will pop the balloons and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
last episode.
The
It's
loonies.
something similar like that. Yeah.
Did you know about the loonies?
Uh-uh.
They have sex with balloons, like
I come in here and I think I'm the weirdest one in the room.
No, they don't just have sex with balloons. There are people that actually form a relationship and a bond with a balloon.
Now you had that person sitting in my chair.
No,
No,
that was the,
the professor
the
was here, was talking
he
about different
he,
things.
Okay.
he researches very strange fetishes.
Yeah, but like I said,
I could see the blowing up.
The
I-
consenting
like the
adults.
So do they make them into like little twisty animals first, or just
not always.
I don't know. Maybe
Blow
they
up a
put
balloon and-
little T-shirts over them, so that the top of the balloon is just, and they float around. I don't know.
I think it's really just popping.
No, he said He said there's that, and there are people that have relationships with their balloons. See, the popping, I can see you sit on it, and like.
Well, who doesn't like to sit and pop a balloon? I mean, it's like I do it as a kid. I mean,
Right,
as a
but
dog.
do that naked, and that's the idea, right?
Oh, that would be like latex snapping your genitals.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, there are
I
people
How
that like
big are these balloons?
We're
I
gonna
think
have
normal-
normal.
yeah, normal
Yeah.
balloons.
Normal. They're not like
I
necessarily.
wonder if the
giant
relationship
party
balloons
city.
would have to be a
Really-
mylar.
I really hope no one comes
Yeah.
and looks at the search history on my computer when I get back to the office, because now I'm going to look this up.
I'm thinking about opening up a store and having these cute balloons, and we'll name them.
Yeah.
You like this balloon?
I
So it's
think it
like
would
the
have-
real
this is-
dolls.
Yeah,
just
this is
full of helium.
Frida.
I think it might be so obscure you could really only do it on the internet, where you have the
Yeah.
global
I'm
community.
not quite sure the market,
Yeah.
specific
How many-
Minnesota
How
market
many
of.
loonies live in Minnesota? I mean, there might only be 4.
You never know. I'm learning.
Apparently,
true.
there's a whole episode on strange sex about it. That's where he said he originally saw it.
So do they take these balloons on dates?
Yes.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, there's a Wikipedia page.
Okay. All right. Of course there is. What have you found?
A balloon fetish is a sexual fetish that involves balloons. Woo. Okay. Let me poke around here.
Okay.
This
Going
this
through
is
there.
coming of a new event. I could actually put balloons out at one of my lifestyle events, and let's see who starts playing with them.
You
So, yeah.
should.
I was
You
wondering what
should.
kind of themes you would do. You keep
Yeah, what are
mentioning
some of the
themes.
themes?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Party.
themes for parties. Well, if you go on www.sinfulevents.mn.com, my house parties are up. I do need to change the date on the site for one of them, which is the first one. It was over deer hunting, my initial We don't
yeah.
do
No,
a
don't do
party
that.
Yeah,
over
no,
deer
no.
hunting.
No.
Wisconsin or Minnesota.
No.
So the first one is our Naughty Neon party. And then we
Oh.
have the Le Noir et Blanc, which is the black and white party. And I have a dark night party, which I do. And, we're doing wine and, what is it? Wine. It's a pre-event wine. So we're going to start early, and we're going to have a wine tasting, cheese and wine tasting, meet and greet, and then move into the party.
And this is a house party?
Yep, this will be our house party. So we'll start the I'm doing it. It's touch of class, touch of ass. So the
Oh,
touch of
nice.
class
Is the wine
is the wine
tasting cheese thing.
tasting, and people can come in. It'll be, a nice meet and greet. It won't,
Do you get
all
that
of our-
sponsored by a winery?
Actually, I have friends that make their own wine from their own grapes on their farm and
Nice.
stuff.
So they're going to do it?
Yeah,
Nice. So
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you
And-
are essentially
Yep.
having a winery come in.
Yeah, and she and her and her boyfriend have won several awards now at the state fair and county fairs and different little wine tasting things. So they're building up their name.
Cool.
It's Cluck You Wine.
I haven't heard that. And I do see a fair amount of that sort of thing because my boyfriend owns a liquor store.
Yeah.
So we have people that come through, and so I'll have to look for those guys. And
Yeah,
find it.
if
Are they
they-
repped? Do
Huh?
you know? Are they repped
No,
by they're just by
Well, they
themselves?
probably,
by
if they're
themselves.
home winemakers, they probably don't have like an alcohol license. You have to get like labeling and all that stuff.
for sure.
Okay.
Are they-
So I've looked up. There's just so much here. You just need to go to Wikipedia, put in balloon fetish,
Yeah.
and you will be informed.
Okay.
Yes.
So we gotta just a couple minutes left here on the podcast here. Great Northern Sexcast, episode 39. Mrs. Sin in the house. She's got to become a regular because there's way too much that we can ever get to.
Way too much.
But Colleen, we were talking about the Kinky Fridays at the 90s, and we were trying. Mrs. Sin and I were trying to figure out maybe going and seeing who might want to talk to us. And we love going to the gay 90s. They are terrific. They've always treated the Great Northern Sexcast well. It's so bloomin' loud. So we're gonna see if we can't get a little side setup for a Kinky Friday, and let's just go and tape a show and see who comes over. I would like to see.
If we can find a side area because the oons
Oh, I know it.
just covers up some of the best conversation.
Yeah,
and,
and-
and that's the point. I mean, I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's going through there, and
It's the mood.
Yeah, and it's bringing everything is a lot of work too. So if there's a side area where and people are willing to talk, I love talking to folks. This has been the best part. I mean,
Yeah.
mind you guys know me who work with me. I can chat about almost damn well anything, but I love listening to other folks.
Oh, it was so
Yeah.
much fun when we
Fun
saw
stories.
the trans gals that one night. They were so cool.
Oh, aren't they great people?
They were super nice.
And then we have our puppies at Kinky Fridays. So it's the men and women that like to dress like puppies.
Yep, that is such a huge thing. That exploded.
You know what? I love being the master to a puppy. It is something that I have one little puppy, and he comes up, and I nuzzle him, and I tell him to heel, and I get into it. You stay, puppy, you stay. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. That's a good boy. Oh. And he listens to.
I would pay to watch that. I think.
Oh, he's so fun. He is so fun. He's so fun. He's the nicest guy. He comes in, he gets dressed up, and he turns himself into a puppy. And I love it when he's my little puppy. We have the slave masters. We have the cross dressers. We have obviously. A handful of swingers. Now, some of them are new. They may be a little bit nervous about coming on and discussing stuff. But, our friends, Junk Male and Junk Female, the photography people,
Yep.
they love going to Kinky Fridays and partake in that. The Mister always dresses the missus up in the themes. And back to the themes, I don't think I got a chance to. A lot of the lifestyle events we theme things so that people can, if it's a quirk, a fetish, whatever. Back to school is coming up. So our last Kinky
girl.
Friday, we had back to naughty school. I'm trying to think. There's so many different. There's color themes, white night, red night. You can do some of the, like I said, I have the black and white, the touch of class, touch of ass, different themes. Just something so that people can, dress up, we did a really big downtown party, neon party, more like a rave style. So we had the hula hoopers and
fun.
everyone dressed, in like their rave style stuff, and you wear the fun bright wigs.
like
and
having a little mental costume with your other costume too, so you can be
you can
want to be
become
more free.
yeah.
More free. Yeah.
And that's
Why
why
Halloween parties are always a blast.
And just to clarify, the Dark Knight you had mentioned as a theme, that's not Batman themed, is it?
No, the Dark
I
Knight.
got really excited.
I was wait. I'm like, okay, I know. I saw you go. Huh.
I know.
No,
Meg perked up.
our Dark Knight house party, we do everything is what I do is the cabanas are black, and then all of the stuff is in animal print. And everyone can do their gothic dominatrix, kind of bring out their dark side if they have a dark side.
Who doesn't?
It's not, the thing is with the themes, it's not required that you dress the part. It's
just
if
fun.
you want to dress the part. And, some people come in and they love dressing up, neon at our house parties are neon. We have all these black lights. And so you get under, even in a white shirt, if you don't want to dress the part, wear white, you're going to glow. Everything glows. The cabanas glow in the dark. The sheets. I have the sheets glow in the dark, and then each pillowcase says, like a pillowcase will say, and it glows in the dark, suck me, fuck you.
Nice.
That's adorable.
Did you make those yourself?
Yeah, I did it all myself.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then the black lights are on, and when you walk into the cabanas glow, and then each pillow glows too.
Nice.
So let's just talk real quick, going back to your schedule. So
Did you have this house before, or did you buy this house?
We built the house on our property with no intentions
so
of
just
before
worked out.
we were even in the lifestyle. And then all of a sudden I had I had a couple that took me to Toronto, Canada, and catered to me because I can play separate. And they took me to an on-premise site. Now in Canada, you can have sex clubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they took me to a sex club, and each level, so the bottom level was the bar dance area, and then you went up to the next level, and they had different rooms. They had a viewing room. They had a jungle gym room, which was beds at all different levels with jungle gyms that would get you from bed to bed. They had...
The look on your face, Colleen. She's trying to picture it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and they have...
It's like what the
designed
Fantasy
most of the
Suites
stuff.
should have been.
The viewing room was really interesting. So you go into the viewing room and you sit down on these beautiful posh leather couches, and it's a one-way mirror. And you sit there and you watch people on this whole room. It's made out of a big bed, and you watch people have group sex.
Yeah.
And then the third level was the hot tub, kind of the water-based area. And I came home and I looked at Jim and I go, we could do that here. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, we're tearing our house apart and we're doing it.
Welding stuff.
Yeah. It was, I wouldn't say we have a jungle.
Went up in the garage.
The mirrors went up.
There's another job for you.
Yeah.
You can now design
Yeah.
playrooms.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what the cabanas are for.
Yeah.
And then what we do want to do is a glory hole. We haven't done it yet. We want to do a glory hole box.
Oh, they sell that door.
We did find.
But you can buy a door, so you could take your regular door, and for your parties, you can swap it out with a door that has a glory
hole in it.
So then, when the party's over, you can put your regular door back in.
I remember when a gentleman who used to work for us, who doesn't work for us anymore, Michael. Different, not the Michael.
Old Michael,
explained to me years ago what it was. I'm like, a what? And then he spent like the next 20 minutes telling me where in town the best ones were. For him,
experience.
And for him, it was the there were several places at the University of Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
that's where he liked to go.
Yeah.
He liked the students, but I mean, it was
inside the University of Minnesota,
probably in bathrooms, right?
Bathrooms, libraries, long time, yeah.
Well,
now,
that's paying for an education.
We don't have things to stick in, so our bathrooms never have glory holes.
I'll stick my finger and my foot in there.
I'm just trying to imagine if there's a map, though.
No, but it was, I mean, he knew about it, but I mean, this was
Craigslist has a lot of them.
Yeah. See, the problem is that you had one for cruising, but then the cops go on those, and then they go to the cruise. They go to the cruising sites and bust them.
But it was the most amazing conversation I have with Michael, because I'm just looking at him and I'm like, you go and you. And he didn't really get a lot of words out. And he's like, Eddie, just explaining it to me. And I'm like,
he would also go to fisting parties. I'm like, how in the world do you find a fisting party?
But
FetLife.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
no,
I'm-
this was
pre-internet.
long
This was
before the internet.
yeah. This is all word of mouth.
That's what you call underground stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know someone that knows someone, and hey, how do you
Yeah.
bring it up when you're sitting at Starbucks? Yeah,
Right.
kind of like getting fisted. I know where we can
I
go.
know a guy.
But that was the weird part because I'm in the office and we're chatting, and I'm thinking, my mom and dad are in the next room. I mean, it's just, but it was just weird conversation because I'm like, it came up, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to know about this.
Yeah.
You know? But it was just it was fascinating.
See, I just had somebody give me that conversation about less than a year ago. So I'm like, a what? And it was the same exact thing. And then she showed me on Craigslist how they're everywhere.
Yeah, look at all the education you're getting by hosting this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It is
yes.
so much fun.
Yes, and so you've got to. I know. You've got to give us the list of your websites to Mrs. Sin, and then of course, as you did before, Michael did it on behalf of Fantasy Gifts the last time. But you had a little offer for all of the lifestyle people that come in and identify themselves. What is that?
Oh
Oh,
my God.
the keyword.
Oh, we're gonna
Waffles.
Well, it was waffles.
It was
That's right,
waffles. Based on a story that you told. Yeah.
Well, I think what we should probably use is either waffles or balloon because we confused it with
Oh,
balloon.
let's do balloon.
Let's do balloon.
Let's do balloon.
And so we'll post the what's that? It was
Swinger
a percent-
discount.
Swinger discount. It was listen to this, put it in the comment section, and we'll refund a percentage of the sale. I think we
Perfect.
did- I
That's
think we did-
awesome.
I think
Thank
we
you.
did 10%
Yeah.
last time.
That was always our
And I
Club
do,
H.
I do know that I got some emails back thanking me for the 10% off. That people used it.
And we
Well,
have
we always did Club H, but I don't think they're around anymore.
and we
There's a
had
campground.
Oh.
I do a lot
Yeah.
of campground.
I knew that when you said those names, I knew that sounded familiar. But we also have we have a big old basket of toys. And for the month of September, if you're at Fantasy Gifts, any Fantasy Gifts, and check in, we're going to take all those names, throw them in a pot, and we'll take a picture. Do we have the basket put together?
Yes, it's all
Okay.
put together.
It's all put
I'll have
together.
to put it in
Check
the
in on
comments
Facebook, right?
because
Yeah.
yes,
On
check in on Facebook.
Facebook.
I'll put a picture of it in the comments. I can't promote. Facebook wouldn't let me just put a picture up of the
Yeah.
toys, so
Yeah.
we're going to hide it a little bit. But yeah, through the month of September, you can check in on Facebook on any one of the 9 Fantasy Gifts location pages, and then you would be entered to win basket of goodies. We got some vibrators, lube, massage oil.
We always have good gift
Perfect.
baskets.
I will promote that on all the sites too. So www.sinfulevents.mn.com.
Okay.
Go there for the list of the house parties, the themes of the house parties. You can also go into the page, and if you're curious or interested in signing up for a site, there's Lifestyle Lounge. Click on that banner. That will jump you right to the site and Swing Lifestyle.
Okay.
Those are the 2 biggest sites that we do host our parties off of. And if if anyone who's listening to this gets signed up and email me, I'm Sinfully Yours 1 on Swing Lifestyle, and Sinfully Yours is my regular profile, Lifestyle Lounge, or Sinful Events is my event profile. So that's where it discusses what we do in the event profile. Either one of those, drop me an email and I will get you going into where to meet people and help you out and get you to Fantasy Gifts checked in and get your percentage off. And
Megan, you can help us. We can put some of those links up on the Great
Yes,
Northern
definitely.
Sexcast Facebook page
Definitely will.
too. So always good. Colleen, I'm so glad that your sinus has held out.
Yes.
So that you could finally meet Mrs. Sin. We love having you. We hope that you'll
Thank
come
you.
back. And
Absolutely.
you've got to become like a quarterly guest because we never get to everything. And so we're going to go ahead and shut down episode 39. Next week, the Big 4-0.
fun. Lordy, you're turning 40.